Hello, we're here again in our show Like a Bundle of Reeds with Dr. Michael Laitman and Masha Shoyovich, and we would like to jump straight into the deep water on our talks regarding the unity of Jews and the solution to the problem of anti-Semitism, which we can see is spreading throughout the world. And we always somehow feel that it's forced on us. And Dr. Laitman, as we know, has a slightly different approach, a lot more active one, proactive. So let's go straight to scrutinizing it, and we'll do it for you, Masha.
Yes, we spoke about it a lot in the
No,
previous
I
programs.
can't keep
What?
silent because indeed there are two approaches. Is it good to be a Jew or is it bad to be a Jew? Is anti-Semitism working in our favor or against us? How should we relate to our destiny, to our fate, and all of those things? There are those who curse their destiny, that they were born Jews, and they can't run away from it, or they try even, but yet they can't run away from it. And there are those that in the end bless over it, and they see how much it is special and unique, and they're thankful for it. That's what
And
they
what
are.
about you?
I am certainly very happy that I have such a privilege to be a Jew and to speak to everyone. And I appear in all sorts of places, and I say to everyone, what is this great privilege, this merit, and why the people of Israel are unique, and how I invite all the nations of the world to be Jews, which is
That's
totally
Yeah, that is
unclear.
unclear.
But indeed, yes, this is how I have been operating for dozens of years.
No,
You know
you
that,
threw a bomb here. You need to explain it. What do you mean?
What? Because a Jew is not about nationality. It means belonging to the purpose of creation, belonging to the universe, to the upper force, and one who takes that on and starts knowing those forces, the force of nature, the creator, then he starts understanding what it is to be a Jew. It is to be in unity. Out of the unity between us, we reach
Yeah,
unity
but
with the
if I come
creator.
to someone who's not Jewish and tell him, "Excuse me, sir, you don't belong to the purpose of creation," I don't think he'll like me
Why?
very much.
Why? Why he doesn't belong?
From what I understand.
Each and every one?
So,
No. Each and every one. All 7 billion people, in the end, will connect to us, and they'll be Jews like us.
so what should I tell him? In the meantime, don't take it personally, but for the time being, you don't belong to the purpose of creation.
If you don't want to,
You're coming up soon for you.
but if you want to, then yes.
What do you mean if he doesn't want to?
And in truth, you know where their rage is coming from? Because you are not inviting them. You're not explaining to them what does it mean to be a Jew. You're not drawing them to it. You are denying them.
Personally, I'm not preventing anyone from...
Yes, I
meaning
understand.
That somewhere in their subconscious they want to join the club, and we're not
Certainly,
allowing them.
of course, yes. This is called that they are blaming us for all the troubles in the world, and it's because of us, it's true. Until we bring them along with us to the pinnacle of existence, which is a connection to the upper force, and then all the abundance fills us up. It brings us to life which is beyond death, beyond all the limitations and boundaries. Until we will do that to the whole world, we're not realizing our role. Therefore, the whole world has a complaint against us. But one who does it, one who associates himself with this, is called a Jew. He reaches unity with the others and connection and unity with the Creator.
Okay. There are many people in the world. There are many people in the world who feel that they connect to the purpose of creation. They feel that way. That they have a method, a certain way, and they invite anyone who comes, who wants to come and join us. Well, if I understand you correctly, we're saying more than that. Come, join us to the purpose of creation. That's one. But two, as long as you're not joining me, you're not within the purpose of creation. And 3, there is no other way to get to the purpose of creation. It sounds pretty conceited, arrogant.
So
What can we do
it?
if there's only a single way?
So why is
single
it not
path?
arrogance? Or maybe
The
it
path is
is.
simple. Wait 1 minute. This destiny started from Babylon, even from Adam Rishon. But let's say we'll start from Babylon, where already a part of the Babylonians disconnected from all of that civilization and started belonging to the Creator, meaning they started living amongst themselves according to the spiritual law, love thy friend as thyself, led by Abraham. And later on, they reached indeed this existence, the complete existence of love thy friend as thyself, and they fell. They fell as if they went back to Babylon, meaning they went to an exile, and they connected with all the Babylonians. Those Babylonians covered the whole world by then. They spread all over the world. This was at the time of the ruin of the temple. So it turns out that this group that was connected in a spiritual degree in the revelation of the Creator, they fell and they connected with the whole world. Within 2,000 years, they were mingling with the whole world, and now again all that great kli, that vessel, that humanity in which also Jews and non-Jews exist and they're all together, that same humanity now has to start to connect according to the spiritual law of love thy friend as thyself, in connection, in unity. And then all of us, in the end, well, the process is starting now, and it has to end within a few years. It might be tens of years, up to, say, 200 years. And then the whole of humanity, in its end, has to be as one man in one heart. And this state is called unity, or being a Jew, and the connection with the upper light. The force of bestowal is called that way, to be Jews, to be united, to be in adhesion between them and in adhesion with the upper force. And here there's no nationality, because we also, before we connected to Abraham and to this inclination, we would call ourselves Jews or Israel. Rather, we were just Babylonians like everyone else. Rather, those who take upon themselves this method, this direction, is called a Jewish or Israel, and those who don't take it upon themselves are not called this way.
But I'm still quite in shock from what you said at the beginning. It's hard to digest because our entire religion and tradition and everything that we got used to thinking is based on that complete separation. How we have to send a foreigner away to convert 3 times, and there's the commandments, and there's the 613 commandments of the Torah, that it's always been differentiated. What you're saying is there's no more differentiation between the Goys and the Jews, but there's the Jews and those who still are not Jews.
What? Wait a minute. What is a goy, a nation, or a Gentile? We were also a goy once. If I don't take upon myself this inclination to be in love thyself as thy friend, I'm also not called a Jew. I'm called a goy.
You're saying,
a Gentile.
So now in a few seconds, you condensed everything that we thought about what it was to be Jewish? You're saying a Jew is only someone who aspires to reach the goal of creation, and that everyone can get there.
And they will be there. They shall all know me from the littlest to the greatest, because my house shall be called a house of prayer to all the nations, and all the nations shall flock to it, etc. There are many verses that speak about that everyone shall know me from the littlest to the greatest. Knowledge means adhesion. Everyone. So the purpose of creation is for everyone to be in adhesion with the Creator. Like it was never before. Before Abraham, there was never anyone who was a Jew. He was the first Jew. He's the father of the nation, the father of this movement. And from him onwards, they started being Jews. Those people who unite themselves, dedicate themselves, glue themselves to this task, to this correction, are called Jews. Everyone. Some Frenchman can come, or somebody from Mexico, or China, or an Arab, it doesn't matter whom. If he has the same inclination, he'll be called a Jew. It's not a nationality. It is well known that a Jew is not some Frenchman that takes on this method. From that moment, he's called
just
a
like
Jew.
Bala Sulam wrote, that it's the religion of bestowal. The Jewish religion is the religion of bestowal.
It reminds me of a story that I heard about Bala Sulam. I don't know if it's true, but I heard a story that his wife once said to him, his name was Yuda Ashlag, so she says, Yuda, look at these rabbis, the Admor from Gul, this Admor, that rabbi. They each have thousands of students, you know, and you, what do you have, 5 or 6 students at best? He says, true, but the Creator has even less.
But we're nonetheless coming closer to better times.
Some huge gap in my understanding between you're talking about some very lofty goal and far-off goal, that the whole world will know me from the smallest to the greatest, etc. And the means that you're giving is something called, you call a workshop, which is some kind of very sterile situation.
It's not a state, it's an action that helps us to come together, to connect. Do you have other actions that help us connect?
Not at the
Please,
moment.
go ahead, bring it. No, okay. There is nothing else that is suitable, that connects all people in a round manner, an equal manner, as close as possible, so that they can bestow to one another, in each one nullifying himself towards the others, etc. So this form in our world is a form that has existed from generations, that people sit in a circle around a fire, or without a fire around a table. And this way we try to find in the center of our sitting together that something will be formed that belongs to all of us together. Here will sit just bodies, but our soul is here.
This
It is
element
common.
of together and the circle exists in many cultures. We see it with Indians,
Yes,
we see it in meditation, with mass meditation, precisely because people are aware of the power that exists in a joint act, simultaneous act. They even coordinate it in several places in the world in order to maximize the effect. Here, it seems like you're aiming for it creating something special that doesn't happen there.
yes.
Can you clarify on that? Please do.
Yes. In order to reach unity, and inside of the unity to feel the upper force, according to the law of equivalence of form, this unity should be adapted, matching that force of bestowal. That unity should also be in bestowal. There has to be a manager.
Every time you say upper force, I get the religious concept in mind. In the sense
Which
that
religious term? We are here in
what does it
an
mean
upper
that it's
force that is filling up the whole of
an
reality.
upper
We're
force?
in it. It is higher because it is the force of bestowal and love, and we're the force of
Okay, so
reception
then what?
and hatred, right? And then we say that the force of bestowal and love is higher than the force of
Wait a minute.
reception
The
and
Chinese have
hatred.
yin and yang, which is also a type of reception bestowal.
I don't know what it is they're
Okay.
giving and receiving. I'm telling you that there
But
is
why is
love
it
and
higher?
hatred.
Because I consider it
respect it
higher,
more this way.
not because,
Yes.
I don't know, because objectively it is,
No, no, no. If you position it this way, that it is higher in your
so
estimation, your
if
appreciation,
what I
then it is called
appreciate
higher.
most from everything else is the power of love and giving, right, then I call it
Then
the
you
upper
call it
force.
higher. Yes. What's
So
next?
now nothing fits because most people don't appreciate it this way. So then what?
Listen, there are people who want to understand, to discover this higher force. And there is a method for how to discover it. This method is called the wisdom of Kabbalah, as it is defined the revelation of the Creator to the created being in this world. Now, how do you do it? So, as an example, I say the simplest means which is closest to us and is relatively easy, it's accessible for realization, is that we will sit around a round table, say 10 people. And according to the conditions of the workshop, as we call this kind of sitting, if we will manage ourselves correctly, according and under, sorry, and under a person who feels, who understands how to arrange these things correctly, who is called a
So there is
Kabbalist.
certain instruction here.
Yes, certainly, not just like that. We just sit down and we
Discussion.
make some,
Seance.
have some discussion or summon spirits. Yes. So if we do that, we can reach the right connection between us. Not at once. It usually takes some time. Gradually we improve ourselves, so much so that in the connection between us we will start feeling indeed that there is this force of bestowal and love. Now, out of the fact that we wanted to change, to get better, and indeed by our desire, by this inclination of ours, we improved ourselves. How did we improve ourselves? How come we can do that? We use that force that is outside of us, and with its help, we acquired the quality of bestowal a little bit, meaning that I nullify myself, that I connect with others, then I want to feel the others as I feel myself, to be connected in such a way that as though bodies do not separate between us, etc. If we make such efforts, in the end, we reach a state where we're capable, to some extent, to nullify ourselves, to concede our ego,
And that's the
then
meaning
to
of
that extent,
annulling ourselves, relinquishing the ego.
and then, according to that, we start feeling that there is some force that is present among us. There is a force of bestowal that is in us, between us. And this is called the beginning of the revelation of the Creator to the created being. But it can only be on the condition that we listen to the advice of this Kabbalist, who is organizing us in such a way, and that we keep, indeed, what he's saying.
It's simply, too many things are very unclear. First of all,
That is true.
what is the connection between A and B? What's the connection between us sitting together now and having a wonderful conversation about something common and the whole world reaching the goal of creation? I don't know, we'll start being better people? Or I see other people are doing similar exercises. They're annulling their egos and they're becoming good people.
Indeed, very good people. I heard that they have castes there, and they burn one another, and they hate one another, and they're unable to give and take from one another. This is called that they're good towards one another.
Cancel their egos.
Oh, they sit. Yeah, everybody sits. What's the problem to sit?
That we're the worst of everyone. So, but we did it. So why are we still there?
When did we do
You
it?
said that we.
At the time that we did it, we were different. This was at
Let's
the time
say
of the
that
temple.
we did this workshop. We came out of ourselves. We annulled our egos. We became better people. What's the connection between this and the goal of creation? That will give an example to other people, that will create
Of course,
some
this
light
is what they're
between
demanding
us.
of us.
We sat around the table, we had a good time. We walk out of the circle and we save the world.
No, not at once. But each time we add to the world another quant of spiritual light.
That we achieve in the circle.
Yes, out of connection between us.
I wanted to ask, this element of the workshop needs to be something very thought out. People come and sit with all the questions and everything. If this means it's so effective, is it possible to use it in different situations in life? Maybe in daily life, like in the family or at work. Is it also possible to have workshops there or no?
Please, go ahead. Any connection between people
yes,
is
but you
a blessing.
You talk about certain conditions
so
here.
Maybe the conditions won't be quite...
instructions from someone specific.
All right, without that also, you can't have a Kabbalist by your side.
So
you're saying that every interaction at the end of the day can turn into a workshop where everyone's equal and they achieve this connection, and from the circle they get this light.
Yes.
Helps create the world.
If, for example, with my wife at home, can I be in a state of a workshop?
Sit together. Actually, it says nicely about it. A man and a woman, divinity is between
Many
them.
beautiful things are written down, but then there's life.
No.
And I remind you, there's the breaking.
No. You can sit next to her, opposite her, doesn't matter how, and to seriously keep the laws of the workshop between the two of you in such a way that you truly reach in the connection between you such unity where you start feeling the upper force that is filling you up, the force of bestowal and love. And it's not corporeal bestowal and love as between the bodies. Rather, it is indeed a spiritual force.
And is it the same with kids? Because there it's not an equal relationship.
Children, they need a different kind of study. We need to learn how to watch out until they grow up.
Now, in order to implement this, you need, I assume, you need all the participants in the event, in the workshop. Whether it's a husband and wife or participants or whatnot. They need to be aware of it and participate voluntarily, no?
No, you can invite them. You can suddenly in your workplace, in a big office, say, suddenly you see a certain feud or something and you can see that you have the opportunity for it. So you say, guys, let's do a certain action. Let's sit down together, all of us, quietly, calmly. Let's do it. And you sit them down, and you start, in order to pacify everyone, you try to affect them in such a way that it's worthwhile for us to relate in such a way. Let's speak in a certain way, let's see what will happen. And you can reach an action and an outcome which is really special.
To begin with, they have no intention to discover any forces or anything.
Don't tell them about it. It doesn't matter. They will feel by themselves that suddenly some spirit from up high lands on them. A force of blessing, love, softness, and nice relation.
It's suddenly making a lot of sense for me, what you said, because actually, also in history, it brings us to a state where we no longer believe in, we don't believe in some leader, some king that can control us and tell us what to do, that'll bring a whole army with him. And like the education system is changing, like a teacher standing in front of a class and leading everyone after him, everyone doing what he says, but rather all of reality is changing. And we can also talk about education, which is in a circle, and the world through the internet and all the connections between us. It's all become a circular form. So maybe this is a new development.
That is true.
Way of development for us.
It all revolves around that. The whole world, all of the incidents, everything is now coming together and connecting only to this problem, that we all have to be united. And this is the problem, because if we have to bring the world this force of unity, teach them how to unite. If we have to organize the whole world to sit together in a single circle, that everyone will be as brothers, if we don't do that, then all of that great force that has to be revealed in humanity in a nice, good way will pressure us in a bad way, God forbid. And therefore we have to talk and to explain in all the different languages, using all sorts of opportunities to everyone, the Jews as well as the nations of the world, to explain to everyone what are we standing before. And let's help ourselves to go through this phase of correction, have the awareness about the necessity of the correction, the purpose of creation, the process of the correction. Let's all acknowledge that and start coming closer to the implementation.
So you're saying actually that the world is already one big circle and we're the moderators?
Yes.
So these are beautiful words of summary. What the interesting thing about our shows is that we prepare many questions. On average, we complete about half of the first question, and the show takes a different direction, but beautiful things come up. Thank you very much, Dr. Laitman. Thank you very much, Masha. Thank you for watching us. We really hope that you'll be with us again, and we'll see you here on the next show. Until then, bye.